right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP Roast. GBP Roast on your Google business profile. It's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre. Bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
Woo, it's gonna get hot in here.
Hey.
Thursday.
Happy
actually
Hump Thursday.
Hump Thursday. So you guys actually just had a webinar, right?
We did. Went really good. We had quite a few people register. I got a little scared moment where I thought it wasn't recorded and good enough, and it did. So here we are. Even dumbasses like me can figure stuff out sometimes.
So where can people get the recording that wasn't able to?
So it just rendered. So people that registered, you should have gotten an email that you can rewatch it. But I'm going to post something probably in the next day or two where you can watch the recording.
Nice. All right, today's episode we are adding another segment into the mix. Is ranking in public. Basically, we have a GBP that we can control. That's bare minimum, and we're just gonna do one thing a week. And we're going to look at the results every week to see how it's doing. And then we have GBP appeals and on JP's Tech Talk. And we also have gain more trust and get more sales.
I like when you said naked and bare. Like that's, is that maybe we could have that segment. You want me to work on that video? Video promo?
We'll have to get the band to come out, the Bare Naked Ladies.
There you go.
It's been 1 week since
all right. So the one thing I want to share so everyone can see it. We can see the results of what's going on here. And let me just go ahead and share my screen here. Screen, and we want to.
Also, if you're in window washing, we've got a little one we're gonna bust down. It is looking terrible. So learn a lot today for window washers.
There we go. That'll be a roast for today. So right now we have the keyword that we're going to target is paintless dent removal. Right now we have its average rank of 4.7 within the 5 miles, and all that was done so far was register for about 300 with citations, directories, and this is what we were able to get so far. Nothing ranking number 1, but we do see some little green here within the first 5 miles. And so to the guys here and the team, like, what's that one thing we should do to test on this particular profile?
Let's make sure that thing is really filled out 100% because you're still missing like services, products. But I think for this particular, I want to get some questions and answers going.
Question and answer. So should I still put in services or should I wait on that?
I would just make sure you have at least some services. You don't put in the descriptions or the like website stuff yet. Just at least have a couple of services. Sometimes it'll pick for you, but for now, just ask some questions, like maybe 15 to 20.
15 questions
to your service.
So 15 questions, no answers, and just put that. So we should do services. I should put those services that we do. Like
just whatever the standard is. Sometimes it'll pre-populate for you, but just at least a couple in there.
All right, guys. So that's what we're gonna do for this week, and then we'll check out the results next week. So let's get into our very first reaction video.
Let's go. Give me some Darren Shaw. Give me some Joy Hawkins.
Yext Power Listings is one of my favorite things to do for local SEO now because it's inexpensive and it helps. It's a authority booster, authority builder, brand builder, so to speak. And like I said, it's a quick and easy way to add some kind of authority to the brand. All right. It's a good question. I appreciate the question. And again, I understand that some people don't like power listings, and I get it too. I didn't for a long time, but now that branding and brand strength is really kind of what I've kind of determined through my own testing is the magic key to local SEO right now. It's a great way to do that very quickly.
Yep, spot on. I use Yext all the time. They have quite a few new integrations now too. They'll create some of those higher authority sites. So if you looked at the in a segment, I can't really was it 2 weeks ago when I talked about AI mode, some of the citation directories, and then there was like Better Business Bureau, Yelp. Yext will actually get inserted into those. They'll even get you into Dun & Bradstreet, which is actually a huge one that is underutilized. That Google uses to help kind of validate. Dun & Bradstreet, they're kind of the tax site, the credit bureau for businesses. So validation, as far as that goes, that's a huge one. And then it gets on to some of my other favorites like Apple and things like that.
Well, how much is the cost for
It
20
ranges
bucks a month?
anywhere between 20 to $75. It really depends on who you're going through. You can't get in there right now as an agency. They'll usually refer you to one of their partners. But there's a lot of resellers out there.
And there's no one-time fee. It's always recurring.
You can pay one time as a business, which can be a little bit pricey. You're looking about $900 to $1,200 for the whole year, and you have to pay everything up front. But it's usually best just to go with the reseller.
Got it.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. That was an easy reaction.
Is the automated response and the automated chats and things like that. I know a lot of people may look down on it, but your Google business, you can have an automated AI respond to a negative review or a positive review or whatever with a pre-statement, fill in the blank kind of thing like that. And that actually bumps up. We've seen that the automated review responses saying, hey, sorry that you had a bad time or whatever. We're going to give you a call or we're going to give you a coupon or whatever.
Don't do that. Don't use any automated. Don't do any type of auto response. Don't use AI to automate. Even responding to reviews is not going to give you a boost. It really doesn't fucking matter. You can just say, hey, thanks for the review. Thanks for doing business. It takes 2 seconds.
What do you do if you have a fake review and then you have an automated response saying, hey, we're sorry, we'll give you a coupon, we screwed up? No. Yeah. Do not respond at all. You report that, and then you try to work through the protocols through GBP. So, yeah.
Do not automate. And I'm going to tell you this, if it has anything to do with your Google business, do not automate a single fucking thing. Ever.
Is there an automated reply feature in the back end?
Not within the profile, but there are tools out there that are giving you an option to be able to automate. And that's why you don't want to use like third-party integration tools. Manage your profile on its own in its own ecosystem. Don't try to tie it into. Even Yext actually has a service that you can actually tie in your Google business profile to do that. Don't even do that.
Why?
Yeah, we've stressed this before.
Because you'll get suspended. I've seen massive suspensions for even agency owners that will manage, hundreds of listings. They do one thing wrong, the entire account gets disabled, and every single one of those listings gets suspended. Don't do it.
Yeah, there's a company called Page. They have been massively marketing on my feed, and the comments of, hey, I turned this on and my listing suspended. It just was on and on. Guys, you do not need to pay for a monthly service of postings and management. You'll get the email that says, John Smith left a review. Kindly reply to him in a personal tone because they'll be notified. Post photos, make sure it's accurate. That's it. It's really that simple.
What is it that technically would possibly do, that probably would cause that? Like just maybe out of your
they hate anything that has to do with like automation or anything like that. So even though Google offers an API to talk to their system, it's mainly you want to use it for kind of your own internal like process. I wouldn't use it for managing, like making edits and things like that. There's even tools out there that will like give you some notification when someone does an edit and then automatically switch it back. Like that's the worst thing you can do.
So it's probably making a lot of calls, and it's
just Google hates any type of automation on their platform.
All right, there we go. And let's check out our last video for today.
So if you've got 100 photos, you've got 1,000 photos, videos as well, just mentioned, what are you going to do with those? Some people might make a mistake and say, okay, well, I've got this new project. I've got all of this content that I've brought from all over the business. I'm going to upload it on Google. Hold on for a second. Upload maybe a third of them, and then start drip feeding every week for maybe a year. What you're telling Google is that this business is relevant. This business is up to date right now. That includes replying to reviews. That includes updating opening hours. It includes everything else. But this is just a nice excuse to be able to keep updating the business. And this helps because this is a ranking factor. It's a visibility factor. And it's something that people forget. They just go, oh yeah, I've updated it. Yeah, that's fine. No, it's not fine. Make sure that you're updating on a regular basis.
Yeah, I would just say But
Real
the key thing
information.
is activity. I mean, Google wants to see
Yeah.
activity. They want to see that you're, and even let's say you don't even do anything with your business profile, you've already optimized it 100%. I would still like log in at least once a week. You know, check out your insights. You know, just at least log in. You don't want to have any zero activity as well.
You don't want to take 100 photos at a photo shoot and then drip it out to your GBP post over, you know, to updates over a year. You want what's happening now, what's happening next week. Think about holidays, think about the time, temperature, events, current things. That's what you really want to focus on. We have an entire movie studio right here. Turn on a video, take photos. It doesn't have to be perfect. Google is more paying attention to relevancy of today, like what's happening now, and that date timestamp, and then of course the geolocation, not your wonderful model photos that you took a year ago.
So if they did have those model photos, they should just go ahead and upload them all? Or
No, because you know, I mean, if you're on Instagram, right? Come on, right? What you need is how much is the average user going to benefit from all the photos? Like there's other places to utilize and update the site. What does the average consumer really want to see? Let's say you're an outdoor contractor. Hey, we do decks, we do pergolas and outdoor kitchens. Okay, well, 3 photos a week, 5 photos, you know, 2 photos at a time. Like there's going to be a certain amount of show me what you're really doing. Show me behind the scenes. Show me your inspection. Show me what you found. Show me you talking to customers. Show me real things, not the model shoot.
You know, speaking of photos, I've started seeing some of my GBPs. I see there's some. I can't have no option to upload videos, but I see people like saying you can upload videos now on some GBPs. I mean, where can people upload videos?
It should say photo, and then it'll just allow you to upload it. Now, I believe there is like 100 megabyte restriction and the length of time, so just be wary of that. Again,
so it should be in the same place where you say click upload photo.
Yeah.
And it should.
Most people will think photo, they won't.
So you can possibly pick a video and it'll still show.
Yeah.
The video.
But beware, if it's too big of a file, it ain't gonna go.
Yeah, it says when you upload it, it says select images and videos directly when the link is where you click on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta double check that myself then. All right, so let's go on to our next segment here.
Yeah, we're going to apply some GMBs right now. How we do it?
We haven't created the drive-by scanner yet to scan and verify GBPs, right? We need to get that.
Soon.
All right, so we are doing.
So we're going to be talking about probably one of the most important things is how to handle appeals. So some things that's really important too. Why things get suspended in the first place? It's usually because a business usually edited an important piece of information that's usually consists of the business name, the category, the website, phone number. And Google has even come out now where they're actually telling you reasons why you got suspended. You know, since 2007, they've never told you any of this information. You're just like, they're like, go read the policies. You're like, well, great. Which policy did I break? But now they're telling you, you know, hey, you made an important edit on the business name. You can't do that, you know, the category. So another thing too is you can't use any PO boxes in your addresses, virtual offices, or anything like that. Virtual offices is kind of a gray area because they want you to have staff actually during business hours, which at a virtual office, you probably don't have your own staff there. Also too, again, like I said, you know, those important information categories, business name, phone number, website, address, those are really the main pieces of information why something is going to get suspended. Now, how to fix this? You really want to make sure that you do follow everything to a T, that if you are a service business, typically if you're a plumber, a locksmith, unless you have an actual physical location where people can come to you, then you need to hide your address. there are cases where you can show the address even though you are a service business. But like I said, if you're a locksmith, you have to have like a storefront, where people can come in and get keys, copied, things like that. You also really want to make sure that when you get suspended, that you make sure that you have all of your information ready to go, because they do ask for things like photos. They'll ask for utility bills, lease agreements, and also to a business license. If you're a sole proprietor, you should at least have a DBA file with your county clerk's office. I have seen cases where they will ask for a link to where they can actually see the business registration. So you can post that into the comments when you file the appeal. And the address has to match what is actually being shared on your Google business profile. And people say, well, I don't have an address. Well, you do, you're just hiding it. So again, they can see the address, but users can't. And that has to reflect to what the actual government, local authorities is actually showing, whether that be an incorporation, an LLC. If you do have an LLC incorporation, one thing that's important too, part of your business name, you do not put your LLC definition in there. You don't put an ABC company LLC, you just put ABC company. It's important too that if you, depending on if you're working with an agency, it's important that they also know this information too, because a lot of times agencies will go in there and, damage your, your listing and your business by adding, hey, we're putting a keyword in the business name. And that can be another way to flag, and then you could be down for several months even. There was an article that came out from Search Engine Journal where there's been a huge rise of suspensions and appeals were delayed. And some people were having to wait, like I said, 2-3 months to even hear back. And then they hear the bad news, like, hey, we can't make your listing go back live. You need to fix these things. Not only that, if your listing has been suspended like 10 to 12 times, there is a permanent ban where you won't ever be able to have a business on Google Maps ever again.
10 to 12. I'm writing that down. 10,
Why would
10 to 12.
That's a lot of times to get banned. Like,
Yeah.
you do something wrong. You get banned that many times.
Now, it's important too that you don't refile an appeal again. You don't start the process again. It's best to, usually what they'll do is they'll send you an email saying, hey, your listing has been approved. We'll get you back up. It's best to actually reply to that email, just letting them know, hey, the listing got taken down again, or whatever the reason is. We don't know why. We haven't made any edits or changes. So it's play dumb. Don't tell them, oh, I went and added a business name or added, but they can see those edits. So Google has kind of a whole process. You can go to support.google.com/business. They tell you exactly what types of information that they'll need and their process. So I would recommend going through this and finding exactly what types of things that they're looking for. If you have a chain where you manage 10 or more locations, they have a process for that. And they also tell you exactly what types of information that they're looking for. Your official business registration, license, tax certificates, utility bills. That can be your electricity bill, phone bill. And if you have any photos, so if you have like a photo of your store or maybe a photo of your van, that's always good to send in too. But a lot of times just showing the business registration is enough. So
make sure you remove the Photoshop watermark, okay, when you're making those documents.
Or
maybe.
watermark. Or remove the watermark. Wait.
Remove the watermark. No.
Nothing.
But you just want to make sure that at least you have all the information that you can share. They give you a time limit too when you start the appeal process that you have to send us within 16 minutes. Otherwise, it won't get approved.
Oh, 16 minutes? Oh, 60 minutes.
60. So this is really important that you keep track of this. That doesn't mean you got the suspension email. You only have an hour to show that. It's when you click appeal, you have 60 minutes to get these documents ready to go. So always have this information, at your disposal in case you do get suspended. And that is all I have for today.
You can have like a little folder that's just called GBP shit, dealing with Google stuff, right?
Yep.
And just pull it out. And
All
like,
of my
here it
proof.
is.
Got it. Got it. You know what? When you mentioned like the getting suspended on the keyword stuff, are you just talking about like really stuffing it, or like if you're is just really adding maybe just
Even
like
just making an edit can flag it too. Even making a major edit. That's why like those main 5 fields, you want to
Okay,
be very
okay,
careful on adding those like categories, phone numbers. So even just adding or changing one small thing, even fixing a spelling can trigger something. So you just got to be really careful.
All right. All right. Let's get on to our next segment here.
La 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 la, la 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 la, Lambo's World. La 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 la, la 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 la, Lambo's World. Lambo likes conversions and SEO too. That's Lambo's World. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna put the my red marker off to the side today. We won't mess too much or much with that. But we will focus today on something that we've done before in the past, which has been the part of, I always talk about the credibility, right? Tying in with the action and the benefit. And we're going to focus on trust. So the biggest thing, with the old trusty trust is that proven track record. Certainly having documented case studies, right? The portfolio of your success, a video testimonial. Nothing can really beat that than someone saying, hey, I hired them. This is what they did. Take a look how you hired them too. Any before or after, whether you even say, we installed a new furnace, saved in 30%, or here's the back porch, now here's the after, it's all awesome. Proven again, that track record. Make sure you have a clear written estimates and no hidden fees. Be transparent. Make sure your contracts are very upfront, warranties, and any guaranteed terms. This is going obviously a little bit beyond than what people just see on page, but you can state that, right? You can say exactly what they get. In this age of fakeness and AI, it's going to get even worse out there, kids. So make sure, just be very upfront with folks, and that's going to help you be unique and get the sale. Licensing. We should all assume that you're licensed, but there's nothing wrong with talking about your certifications, your insurance status, and then using graphics to help sell that. It doesn't always have to be about words. You can use anything from your association in organizations and put that on the site with your industry affiliations and awards as well. That all helps raise your credibility. Social proof, we live and die by reviews, right? What's key though, and we've talked about this from the AI overview, is Yelp reviews, also from Facebook. Think about other places where people can review you besides just on Google, and then those video testimonials. Make sure that you focus on your quality. Now, everyone says it, but if you use a reputable brand, maybe a reputable material, a certain process, any form of a post-job inspection, the satisfaction guarantee, that follow-up, those are things you can document. Those are things you can bring the camera with you, update your GBP, take photos, put it on your TikTok. You don't even have to dance, okay? Just show what you're up to, and that all raise your level of trust. This kind of seems, silly on that side, but sticking to codes and just saying it, right? That we abide by safety standards, but you can take it a step further by saying that you have training just for those employees. That's really going to help, again, get the trust, get the conversion. This seems sort of logical and simple, but the ease of doing business. How many hoops did I have to jump through, to call you, did you call me back? That professional communication. Could I schedule it online without calling into the office? Could I do it on a Saturday night rather than calling you on Monday? We are in an age of I want it now. I can order a pizza by simply, texting an emoji to Domino's and bam, it's coming right to my door. When you have these signals and have these things, this helps elevate the trust. And remember, it's not just the words, it's going to go beyond that and focus a lot more on the graphics, the video, and reminding people what they think they already assume, but just stating it and put it, of course, next to your action and benefit on the site.
Kind of makes it a little bit more unique too when you think about things that Google's looking for. Even if you see some of those AI overview, AI mode, these are some of the things that they actually are putting in those results. Like, hey, this is how you find a reputable company. Look for these types of trust signals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important.
So you're sitting just on the site. I mean, you could put it on the Google business profile too, right? And site, posting, trying to show these trust signals.
Absolutely, right. If you have those graphics, you have those items. Here's a sample, Treasure Valley exteriors. Very common. Here's the action and benefit. If you call, you get an estimate. And then they have a map where you can go see all the different jobs that they've ever done. So you can see address, town, location. If you know who they are, you can follow up. Here's years in business stated right away. Heavy trust and authority sent here. And then what do you see? Again, action benefit right next to that authority. So combination, graphics, words, just reminding people what's most important, right? And to a lot of service guys, answer the phone, call people back, right? If someone left you a message at 5 o'clock, call or text them that night, 7 p.m. That just shows your professionalism and level of communication that you will take care of people, and that elevates the trust and you get the job. Ba 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 ba.
There we go.
Lamb
Nice.
Buzz
All right. Let's go into our roasting. Then we'll go into questions. Oh wait, are we done or? Yeah, we are.
Sorry.
Okay. We are. We're done. We're gonna go into roasting.
Ooh. Roasting, baby.
Yeah, window cleaner, Nashville.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Window cleaners.
Man, I want to say so many F words, I'm telling you, on what's going on this one.
Let me share my. Oh, you doing it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't even need to show you the graphics, the actual page. If someone wants to rank for Window Cleaners Nashville, oh, boys and girls, do you see them using the word Window Cleaners Nashville in any of these major headlines? No. We got Tom and Bob and Stuart and Megan and Shannon.
Even washing. There's no washing.
So it's like,
The wash.
okay, SEO on page 101. You need to say that clearly in an H1 and follow it up in an H2. So you look at this. You look at this site. There's a lot of great things from a CRO point of view. You're like, yeah, this is nice. This works. But you're telling Google that here's our services. And okay, I'm glad that you're reputable and fast and reliable and trustworthy with it. It's exactly what I just got done saying.
I hope you are.
Don't waste it with a headline, okay? That's the whole point. This is a ranking signal. This is a ranking signal. That's a ranking signal. You need to focus on what are all the related semantics and entities to window cleaning. Some of this is okay, but a lot of this, bad. Don't do that. Jordan.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to do too much too. Even looking at some of the page on here, they mentioned painting, concrete ceiling. I mean, but their brand and their domains all about window washing. It'd be one thing like the company that you work with in Idaho, exterior cleaning. Um, they are all about exterior cleaning. They're not trying to be anything beyond that. If we look at the categories, you'll see that they do painting, they do pressure washing, they do all of this stuff, but nothing matches with exactly what's on the site. Nothing matches what's on even their brand. It's one of those things you have to be really um careful on choosing your brand. If you're the wash guy and you want all of a sudden get into painting, you have to represent that. um, to me, this sounds like a brand that started, hey, we do window washing in the beginning, and then we want to start getting into other things. And you have to retrain Google, about your brand and what you're doing. The website needs a lot of work. You need way more content. You need way more structure as far as exactly what you're organizing, what you do, and where you do it. To quote Mr. Merlino, it's really all about explaining to Google exactly what you're doing. There's very, very little content about even window cleaning, window washing, or anything like that. They have a couple of pages where they just kind of mention it. I mean, this page technically should be into the homepage. So just we need to add more. As far as the design goes, I mean, that also needs to be fixed as well.
Yes. This is like, they should just be call themselves generic window guys, because this is just very black and white, not sexy. You think about this. You came from a cool, powerful homepage, and you're like, oh, you guys do window cleaning. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go take a look. Can you do a skyscraper? Or do you have a lift truck? What do you, right? You're like, oh my gosh. Even as simple as that graphic, putting someone's face there. I mean, go out to, this human doesn't exist, or use AI and just put in a fake photo. Come on.
Yeah, I sent you a link for another site for a mock-up that I created a little while ago. Can you pull that up real quick, Keith? It's in the chat.
Please stand by. Sorry.
Studio chat. Studio chat.
Studio chat. Pull this up. Jordan's window cleaning. Is that not loaded? Hold on.
Window-washing.jordanpierce.net.
The wash guy.
You just made this right now?
Earlier today.
Oh, okay. I was like, while he's talking, I'm
no. So go down. You can kind of see encompassing everything what you offer. Residential. It's got everything in here. Interior. Again, going back to what you want to put onto the Google Business Profile on whether this is your home page or an internal page. This is really explaining everything that you do. You offer residential cleaning services, commercial cleaning services. It's everything. Everything's in there in the heading. Everything's in there that you need to have in there. And go ahead and scroll down. You may want to put a photo on the right, a real photo about the brand. So scroll down. About the brand, a little bit about who you are. Scrolling down to our credentials. Everything that Keith had gone over. Hey, we are licensed, insured, we're certified. We have 5-star ratings. Here's our customer reviews. And then you keep going down, you may find some additional services. And then again, our service area, you're mentioning all the cities and towns that you service within that area. And then you have some more conversion points where you're telling, you're being transparent with who you are. This is everything that's matching your Google Business Profile, your hours of operation, how they can reach you, an email address. So everything like that. So again, this is an opportunity for you to be able to tell Google, this is everything we do, where we do it, and now you're also making it readable so that users can learn about your company and all the services that you offer. So
People spend a lot of time
you have to find a way to
About Us
optimize for both the user and the bots.
That's excellent points for sure. The About Us is like the #2 most hit page on a small business site. Therefore, Are you saying this is now your chance to really convince someone, hey, call me, right?
Yep.
And where's that photo? Right? Show me who's the owners, right? Apparently, this could be female owned, I think. Show me the staff. Show me what you guys have been up to. Last review was 6 months ago. I'm sure coming out of the winter, it might be tougher, but there's lots to be done of telling Google what's important.
Yep.
And just working with the dev. How you want to fix this is you can just change these either to a span or to a paragraph. You're telling Google, hey, this is an important heading, and it's not an important heading. It's the person's name.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. We have a couple questions based on this roast. The first one was, what do you mean follow up in H2? Repeat keyword, or can it be like Nashville window cleaners?
Yeah, you can use a form of the word, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with stating who you are, and then you can state it again, and you can put it anywhere in an H2. It's obviously, it might be seen right here, but you could put it further down, or you could even use it as part of testimonials on our window cleaning, right, or a form of the word, in Nashville. As long as you have forms of the word are very similar,
Okay.
the higher up, the better. It certainly helps you.
Okay, yeah.
But they clearly have dev issues because they have the same H1 duplicated right away. It's very likely someone made this for mobile and then someone made this for the desktop or something.
Yeah.
Got it. And there was one when you were talking, Jordan. Can we have a one-page company site that has
you definitely can. So kind of how I have for the landing page that I
what you
showed in
did.
that example, you definitely can use that if you wanted to. I would still put like an about us page, some of those privacy, because that's kind of a standard now for having a website. You have to have like a policy page, privacy, and all that. But if you want to just focus on that and you just want to focus on maps, then you definitely can have a one landing, put everything in your homepage like I shared and work with that.
That is one of the things that we do, with our Geo Hub is this is a exterior contractor. This is their market. This is everything they do. And we talk about different areas, communities, and then all the links. It's all right there. It's basically a homepage and location combined. It's jacked up. And this is the GBP URL. And that's why they rank, because of the links, the branding, the powerful page. It all works together.
So is this pretty much one landing page website, or like a one with?
No, it's got
I'm just showing
pages,
you,
but he's just showing what could be if you wanted to use
right.
like a one.
This could be turned into a one-page site.
Got it. All right. No more questions on that, but we did have a question earlier in our episode on what should it cost the customer to deal with a suspension.
That's between you and them. I mean, it's hard to really prove. I mean, last thing you want to do is get into a thing where you're pointing fingers.
Yeah.
But if you find that you're talking to your client and they said, you're like, hey, like I noticed you changed the business name, like what's going on? And they'll say, I read an article on SE Roundtable that I should change my business name, and that was it. I mean, how you handle it is up to you. How I would handle it is I would say, who's the SEO, me or you?
So to put context on it, this one actually, he had I guess a client having fake reviews, so they had to.
It can cause it, but you don't know for sure that was necessarily what caused it. It could have been a competitor. It could have been someone who hates your guts. It could. They don't tell you, hey, this user went and filed a complaint for him, and so it's just a battle that you don't want to get into, in my opinion.
Is there a feature or like something that comes in that you can your GBP is suspended because of fake reviews. Does the Google
They
Trend-
just start. They not because of that,
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
they will say if it was because it got triggered because of like a business or category. Now there was an
Okay.
article that came out where they actually are telling you the reason for it. I highly doubt they're gonna tell you it was because of reviews or because of someone
Fake review.
did a bunch of posts or whatever.
And think about that. It could turn into a negative SEO situation where you hire a Fiverr guy and he blitzes a bunch of fake reviews and now you're suspended. Google obviously has protocols to remove fake reviews, but they do a
It's not
shitty
perfect.
job at
It's
it.
not perfect. Yeah.
No, it's terrible.
Got it. All right, that was the last of the questions, and we are actually at time. Anything coming up, guys, that you want to share with the
No,
world?
we had our webinar we had this morning. I'll just if you're following me, go ahead. You can follow me on Facebook, and I'll tag all three of us. But I will be posting the recording for that soon. And yeah, we're getting a new site made for the show. Where we're gonna make it a little bit easier for you guys to submit requests. In the meantime, definitely would recommend emailing gbproast@gmail.com, and we will keep doing this roast for you guys. So
Love it, love it. And
Nice.
again, you can check me out tomorrow on the SEO video show at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until next time, we will see you next week. All right, guys. Peace out.
Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
Woo! Nice.